So let's move forward with part two. Once again, what this basically means is that anytime you come across the word was as you're speaking Spanish, you have four choices to choose from. Now, native speakers just use intuition. It just sounds right or it sounds wrong to them, but because we're adults learning the language, we have to do it mechanically. And in the beginning, it's tough. It's tough work. And you have to kind of stop and think it out step by step. But eventually, your intuition will take over. So, what I want to hammer home here is that don't think that it's going to feel like this forever. It's only temporary. Once your brain absorbs the roadmap that we're about to do, it's going to learn that this is how it's done and it'll quickly make the calculations for you. So here's our two-step decision process. Step one is decide which side. Are you going to fall into ser or are you going to fall into estar? And step two is then, is it a dot past or a line past? Let's run through some examples and we'll do them together. Here we have he was intelligent. So the first thing I need to decide is this ser or estar? For me, it's going to be ser because his intelligence relates to his identity, how he's perceived. So I know that I'm falling into ser. Now I need to decide, is this the line past or is it a dot past? Well, I think it's a line past because I'm not giving anything that I can measure here. It's simply he was intelligent. So we have ser and we have the line past. If we go over to the PDF, you can see here we have ser and the line past. So was here would be era. So we have era inteligente. I had four choices there that I could have chosen, but this one, that's the process at how I arrived at era for he was intelligent. Let's look at this one. We have I was sad all the time. So I need to decide ser or estar, and I'm going to go with estar because being sad is an emotion. And next I need to decide if it's a line past or a dot past. Well, all the time, that's a line in the past. So I'm going with estar and a line in the past. Let's have a look. We have estar with a line in the past. The sentence is I was sad, so it would be estaba for I was. Going back here, we'd have estaba triste todo el tiempo. So again, this is how I arrived at which word I was going to use for I was. Let's contrast that now. I was sad yesterday. Okay, so again, we're still in estar because we're talking about emotion. But now we have something measurable in the past. This is a dot, yesterday. So now for I was, it's going to be estar with a dot in the past. So we have estar with a dot here. This one now would be estuve triste ayer. So you see that thought process that happens between I was sad all the time, which is going to be estaba triste, but I was sad yesterday, estuve triste. In both cases, we have I was. Let's try this one. The window was open. Okay, so first thing, ser or estar, which do you think? So I would go with estar because the window being open is just a transitory condition of the window. It says nothing about the window's identity. It's just that the window was open. So we're going to go with estar. Now, is it a dot or a line in the past? For me, this is a line in the past because I'm not getting anything that I can specifically measure here. So Was is going to be estar with a line. So we have estar with a line here. It was estaba. So it would be la ventana estaba. This should be abierta to match, because we're talking about la ventana, feminine word. So we have la ventana estaba abierta. That's how we arrived at which choice was right for was. Now let's contrast this. The window was open yesterday. Okay, so we know that we're still inside estar because we're talking about this condition of the window, the fact that it was open. But now we have something measurable yesterday. So this means that we have that dot in the past. So now this was is going to be estar with a dot in the past. So we have estar with a dot. This is estuvo for it was. So let's go back again. La ventana estuvo abierta ayer. Let's try this one. We weren't here. Ser or estar? That's the first thing. What do you think? Well, for me, it's estar because we're referring to location. Now we need to decide a dot or a line in the past. What do you think? I would go with a line in the past simply because I don't have anything measurable here. So we weren't is going to be estar with a line in the past. So we have estar with a line for we. This is estábamos. So it would be no estábamos aquí. We weren't here. What about this one? We weren't here last night. Okay, so this is still location. So we're in estar. But now we have a dot in the past because we're referring to last night, something specific, something measurable. So now we weren't is going to be a dot with estar. And that's going to be estuvimos. So it would be no estuvimos aquí ayer en la noche. Let's try another one. We were lawyers. Okay, so ser or estar? I'm going with ser because it's identity. Now, line or a dot? I'm going to choose a line because we have nothing measurable here. So for we were, it's going to be ser with a line. So we have ser with a line. It's going to be éramos for we were. We were éramos. So it would be éramos abogados. We were lawyers for 20 years. Okay, so we're still talking about identity, so it's ser. But now we have a dot in the past, something measurable, 20 years. So we were here is going to be ser with a dot. We have ser with a dot. We were, it's going to be fuimos. Fuimos abogados por 20 años. Let's try something a little bit more advanced. We were lawyers for 20 years, but now we're retired. We have two places now where we need to make a decision. So we already know we were lawyers for 20 years, is we're going to use fuimos abogados por 20 años. But then it's saying, but now we're retired. So this is present tense. And would you choose ser or estar to express retired? We would use estar because it's status. Your status is that you're retired. So this would be estamos retirados. Let's have a look. Fuimos abogados por 20 años, pero ahora estamos retirados. What about this one? Were you worried? So ser or estar is the first thing. Which do you think? I would go with estar because being worried is an emotion. And now we decide a dot or a line. Which do you think? I would go with a line because I have nothing measurable. So this were you is going to be a star with a line. So we have a star with a line, estabas, this one here. Going back would be estabas preocupado? Were you worried last night? You know that we're in a star because it's an emotion, but now we have a dot. Last night, that's the dot. So were you is now going to be a star with a dot. So we have a star with a dot. Estupiste for were you. Going back here would be estuviste preocupado ayer en la noche. You see how it changed there? For were you estuviste in this example, but estabas in this one. It all depends on whether we're falling into the dot or a line in the past. Let's try one more and we'll go through all the angles: present, future, and dot past, line past. So the phrase is the school is here. The school in Spanish is la escuela. La escuela. So how would you say the school is here? It would be la escuela está aquí, because we're referring to location and we're just in the present tense of estar. La escuela está aquí. Now this one, the future, the school is going to be here. How would you say that? La escuela va a estar aquí. Here we have our handle is going to. To be has to be a star because we're referring to location. La escuela va a estar aquí. Now the past, the school was here. We're in estar because we're referring to location. So the thing to decide is this a dot or a line in the past? What do you think? So it's a line because there's nothing much to measure here. There's no more information. So what we want is a star with a line. Star with a line is going to be here. Estaba, he, she, it. So it would be la escuela estaba aquí. Literally the school, it was here. La escuela estaba aquí. But now if we say the school was here for 20 years, okay, location, so we have a star, and now we have something measurable for 20 years, it's a dot. So this will now be a star with a dot, estuvo. So we have la escuela estuvo aquí por 20 años. So this is how we do it. We have 4 words in Spanish for was, and only one of them is correct for the particular sentence you're saying at that moment. So this is how we decide which of those 4 choices is correct for what we want to say. Now, as you can see, it's very mechanical. We do it mechanically at first. It's the only way. But then with practice and examples that are coming up, you'll find that your intuition takes over. Once your mind learns the process, once you give it the formula, and then start to practice that over and over, your mind will get it and it will start to do the calculation for you quite quickly. So in order to help that happen, we have more drills coming up. And again, it's the same thing. Just pause, think it out, and refer to the PDF at first. Ideally, you want to avoid looking at the PDF because obviously in real life, you're not going to carry it around in your pocket and have it everywhere that you go. So it's much better if you first memorize this section here so that you can do it without having to refer back to the PDF. I was just using the PDF here to make it as clear as I possibly could, the process of how we were deciding which of the four choices we would use for was or where. But ultimately, this should be memorized, and you should do the calculation just mentally without relying on this crutch.